What's up, guys? Matt here with another quick video. This one is servo replacement for the Betty. It's finally time. This is something I pretty much always do with all of my RTRs. I mean, 24 scale, 10 scale, whatever. They're going to need a servo. So I already had this sitting, waiting, ready to go. Something I always do with these 24 scales is just go ahead and change the steering link while I'm doing the servo, because the slop in these stock links are just horrible. So we're doing all that today. Normally I haven't did a video on this because I've did it 1,000 times. Like I said, I change the servo on everything I get basically. So for me it's nothing, you know, something I'm used to doing. But if there's somebody new out there, this is maybe your first RC. A lot of people, new people to the hobby, are jumping on board with these 24 scales, and so maybe you don't know. So that's what we're gonna do. So you can start out. You want everything off. Gonna pull this screw in your servo saver. And then these two screws here and here for the servo. And then that's all free. The way I have mine set up, my receiver's up here. I already have an extension here, so it's going to be nice and handy. I can just unplug from the extension, and it's already out. That simple. And I'm putting this Savox in there, so we're gonna have to trim this servo tray. I may look and see if I have one that's already trimmed, because I can just keep that one. These links, I have to pull them also. If you're just changing the servo, then obviously you wouldn't have to do this, but I prefer to get rid of these. While I'm doing the servo, may as well have it all apart once. You'll see that this servo is nowhere near fitting this tray. So we're gonna have to do some trimming. Just gotta trim the back of this tray out. Usually I've kind of already 4-linked by now, but I need to order some more links for that. So I just took the knife, cut each side. I'm going to try to trim this off of here. It's easier if you take this thing off the truck. I'm just trying to not. May end up with a sliced finger, but hey, if it's easier, we can sacrifice a finger. Got 10 of them, right? So cut that off. Not too bad. And you can order like the Emax servo tray. Makes this a lot easier. I meant to do that, just haven't done it, so it gets the rig job. It puts the lotion on its skin. These Savox, they fit kind of weird, and they only have the one mounting hole here. My reefs, it made it easier. It had 2 spots to mount like your 10th scale normally does, and I just used the bottom one. Made it a lot easier. I just got this Savox, this 0255, because I wanted to test it out. Okay, so I drilled the top first just to see how it went. Then I drilled that bottom. And I'm just going to cut some of this top off because it'll sometimes hit on the frame rails. We can always cut more if we need to. But I have 2 tiny holes drilled right here and here just below. And like I said, there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. But that's going to be fairly simple to me. Raises that servo just a hair, but it's not going to matter. You can see my suspension bottoms out before it's anywhere near hitting anything. And then with the small holes that I drilled, it actually, these screws fit these holes better than they do the ones that come stock in the servo. And if you want a little extra strength in there, you could add some double-sided tape underneath it. Some people just double-sided tape them on, or shoe glue them on, or hot glue them on, whatever. But I try to just run a couple screws in them if I can. And you can see that fits pretty well. And then if we want to trim more off of that, we can. I'm going to leave it for now because in case I want to use this servo with the Emax servo tray down the road, then I can mount to these upper screws. And then luckily for me, I can just plug this back in to my extension. So you'll plug it back into your ESC receiver combo on a stock truck just like it was before. And then these, we'll do something with those in a little bit. That's on there. Now we're going to get these links. So I did this 0255 here because I have the Emax, I have the Reefs 99, I have the 0257, I have, oh nice, I don't want that screw. What else do I have? I don't know. I have a bunch of different servos, and we're going to do a comparison. Not really a comparison, I guess more so I'm just going to run them, get my complete thoughts, and then kind of go over with you why I think one's better than the other, that sort of thing. Just going to run this one, that way I know how it runs, and then I can give you, you know, an idea on what I think is the best value and the best fit. So the Savox comes with all these different arms here. I'm trying to find this little screw that I need. So I'm not using those mounting screws or anything else. This I'm going to use it and just cut the top part off. So really you can just go ahead and cut it if you want to cut it. Or you can put it on, then cut it, whatever. I use my Lexan scissors for everything. It works. You can clean that up if you like. Give it a more rounded edge. And then you can paint these too. A lot of people, you know, can't stand this white or whatever, but I've painted them and it don't last very long, so I don't even worry about it anymore. This end, you want this like that into here. So the easy way to know that your Hot Racing logo is up, that into there with this facing that direction. Tighten that down. That's beautiful. So I'm gonna put this in the back side. And I'm just gonna go to the second screw hole. And you can do this however. You can put it on the truck and then do it whatever. You don't want to put your arm on yet because that screw goes into the back of there and it's kind of hard to get to. Then we'll do each side of this. And I know this may be kind of boring, but maybe somebody needs it. If I didn't have big fat fingers. So I don't do a whole lot of these like installs because I'm not very good at it. I struggle. And y'all don't want to see all that. So we got these tightened in. They go, into the top. It's all there ready to roll. So you can see how that goes together. No slop in there now. So before we put this arm on, what are we going to do? We're going to turn this thing on. So I got to get the transmitter for it. If you're doing this on a stock setup, you want to make sure that your trim is centered on the 0. Channel 1 to turn, 2 to burn, baby. So channel 1 to turn. Channel 2 is for your ESC and stuff. So make sure this is zeroed. That way, the servo is dead center. Okay. I'm not using the stock transmitter on this one. I have the DX5R, and so you can do the same thing with it. Make sure it's zeroed out. There's my trim. It's all zeroed. So turn this on, or your stock remote, whatever. Throw your battery in. Turn it on. So now you can turn your wheel. The servo is working. So you want it on so that that's centered. And then you can put this arm on. Because if you put this on with the servo off, when it turns on, it's going to go beep, and it's going to turn to one side. So try to get this as close to center as you can. And depending on the splines, you may not get it perfectly centered, but that's what your trim's for. That's about as close as it's going to get, I think, with my splines like they are. So then you can adjust that out with that trim dial. So you can see that moving. So with mine, it's just this, but on stock setup, you're going to be this little dial that I showed you. Just turn this one way or the other until your wheels are straight. And then make sure your arm's on there good. It's not going to come off. Turn this back off. And then tighten your screw into the servo. And really got to make sure that arm's on there all the way. There's no gap behind it. Because if not, this screw that they give you is not long enough. It just barely fits. So with the truck off, throw this screw in. you should be good. Turn it on, it's all straight. Now okay, so with this stock setup, it's backwards. So for me, I'm gonna have to go flip that. For you, what you're gonna do, if your steering's backwards, like I turn left with this, and you see it's turning right. Okay, I'll sort that out on mine. For you, it's this channel 1 to turn. Just flip that switch over. All right, and then they should be good. So that's it. I'll clean up these wires, tuck that in, and obviously put the battery in it right, and get a little running with this new servo. Much better response though. Before it would like not even really turn these wheels on this mat. You can see no problem now. Not hitting anything. All free. Good to go. Sits in there pretty good. So we're pretty much ready to rock. I probably could have put that down on the bottom hole, and then that wouldn't have that angle. It'd be a little more flat across there, but I don't think it's going to have an issue. So yep, all good. In the hood, I'm gonna clean this up and we'll get some running on the Betty. What do y'all think with the new red wheels on the Betty? I think Betty looks good in red. I don't know. All right. Like I said, not everybody needs this, but you know, maybe there are a few, and so I thought I would make this video while I was doing it. It was something I needed to do anyways. So let's get a little running in. I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell so you know when I'm doing these videos, you get notified. Tons of stuff coming up. A couple new RTR 10th scale crawlers. Got the Rift on order. Always doing something with these things. So definitely subscribe. Appreciate everybody. Don't forget, if you need wheel weights, axles, any of that stuff, fullsendrc.com. Use the promo code 2FMRC, discount code, whatever you want to call it. You get 15% off your order. So definitely take advantage of that. I just remind everybody every video, that way you don't forget, you can save that money. So I appreciate it. Peace.